now. Let me open Audacity. It's opening right now. Sorry.
Hey, why don't you open Audacity? Hey, YouTube.
Evan, of course, sent me a party invite. 10 minutes to the podcast time that we do every week.
Sure. Seems legit. They just want the invite to be out there so that when you are ready, you can just accept it and get right in. Okay. Put. All right, you ready?
Get it to it.
So, Dave, you're going to do the giveaway stuff, right? Oh, my gosh. There's so many people with those dang things now.
Hey, did I tell you? Right?
It's you. You started it. I see there were like 4 teenagers in church on Sunday, and during we do like handshaking time, right, in the morning at the beginning after the first song. So I went right over to him. He's like, a foot taller than me. I'm like, hey, let me see it. He's like, what? I was like, you know what I'm talking about. Let me see it. He pulls a spinner. I was like, yeah, that's right. I'm just sitting there spinning it. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I gave it back to him.
I mean, all of a sudden it was just a craze, right? They're selling them in gas stations now.
Everywhere.
Except they're like, I got mine for like $2.79 and they're selling them for like, I don't even know how much. I've seen them for $10 on some sites.
Dang.
It's like, really?
China, got to get the good stuff. All right, so you can do the.
Isn't this just the same? I'm just reiterating what we've already said because it's the same for this month.
Correct. Yep, okay. Just a shorter version of what we already said. And we have 0 entries so far, so off to a rousing start. It's real good. We don't have to say that on the podcast itself, but YouTubes, if you're watching right now, come on, just go enter. Send an email. All right, and then you guys got your mask.
I want to get more time and stuff in my hands. We got to make a promotional post and everything because
agreed.
I want it to be just anybody that sees in passing that sees a sponsored. Oh, I can win a PS4. Yeah, because first of all, it's really cool. Second of all, for our supporters that could easily just put in something like, I got 6 months. Well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think the 6-month time frame is like, well, I got plenty of time, which I understand that. But all right,
here's what I'll do. After each month, there's a cutoff, and then you can't do that to get an entry. You can only do the new thing. It does if we receive like screenshots of the old version or whatever, it doesn't count after a certain period.
Yep, good call. So that way they only have a month to get that extra additional entry into it, which gives you incentive. All right, Audacity, ready to go?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 117 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Viz. Joining me, as always, Dave Mann.
Yeah, it's me. Listen.
And Josh Owens.
I don't have one of those.
Got his spinner, and he hits it on his microphone, which real good for audio. Welcome to this podcast. Welcome.
I have a gummy bear bag.
All right. We're just taking our things and hitting them against.
Welcome to the Sound Effects Podcast.
Oh, this is the worst. I'm so sorry for the way this has begun, listeners. We're just,
Dave's like a Foley artist over there.
That's what we do. It's what we do. You're welcome. Your ears will thank us later. All right, so we're going to jump into this week's podcast. We have all the new releases that you're dying to know about, the news you can use, what we've been playing, questions. But first, before we get too far into it, let's talk about
20 questions. No.
This giveaway.
We just do it backwards.
Yeah, right.
Let's do the whole show backwards one of these times, guys.
And then we can ask the people to tell us what was different this week for an entry into the contest to win what?
Hey, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Listen up, everybody. We're giving away a PlayStation 4. That's right, a current gen console PlayStation 4 that plays PlayStation and Sony exclusives, and also some games you can play on those other consoles. But we're not giving that away. We're only giving a PS4 away. So like I said before, if you've got a PS4, don't scoff or you're instantly disqualified from the entire thing. I will take you out. I will accept no entries whatsoever.
With his spinner.
Yes.
He will just take you out with his spinner.
So for more detailed explanation about what this giveaway is, you can go listen to the last podcast, which is episode 116. But the short of it all is that each month until November, we are going to be giving out a way that you can get an entry, gain entry into this giveaway. There are going to be several different ways, and I'm anticipating some surprise entries because as of right now, the way we're setting it up with the 6 months plus, if you are our supporter on Patreon for those 6 months, you can get a maximum of 12 entries. But we're going to mix it up and shake things up and get things going crazy, as they say, in the hills where they have eyes. I don't know where I'm going with that. But anyways, there will be lots of more ways to do it. So listen up every month. And here's another thing, folks. For those of you who have already had an episode go by and already know, hey, these dudes are giving away the PS4. That's awesome. And you haven't yet done the simple thing of entering, which is just rating us on iTunes and sending us a screenshot of it, basically proof, and subscribing. Well, I'm a little bit disappointed in you. I can't speak for these guys. I almost hate you. I don't.
Oh, wow.
But I almost hate you. And here's the thing. At the end of every month, there's going to be a cutoff line to where you can no longer enter in the way that we explained for that month. So if you're like listening to this, 3 months down the line, unfortunately, you can't get the entries from the months prior. But like I said, we're going to be, giving extra things for, mainly for people that come midway. But the people that have been here the whole time and you just aren't going to, I'm going to wait 6 months and then I'm going to get, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So you need to be paying attention, find out what the way is to enter each month. And then if you don't get in by the cutoff, you lose your chance to get an entry. So, make sure you're paying attention, listening. We still haven't fleshed out the whole idea of all the different ways that we're going to let you enter, but we will let you know. So stay tuned. Stay current.
Yeah,
and stay. What's the word? Salty? Is that it? Stay salty, my friends. Frosty. Is that it?
Frosty.
No. What's the most interesting man in the world say? Thirsty. Stay thirsty, my friends. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. Sure. Why not?
I'm a dumb person sometimes.
Stay thirsty because video games.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. PS4.
That's the outro music to our entry.
That reminds me of when. Did you guys ever put a playing card in your spokes when you were younger?
Oh, yeah.
Like on your bike?
I never did, but I did have like these things that like attached. They were like specifically like made for that, but they came with the bike that I bought off of a neighbor. So I don't know.
Fancy.
I did, but I didn't.
Fair. All right, well, there you go. Free PlayStation 4 for doing things. Thank you. Let's get into the new releases this week, as always, brought to us by a good friend, Andy. And the word of the week, I will be surprised if Josh knows this one this time, but maybe he does.
I know this one.
No, you do
I know this
not.
one, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I know it.
Well, let's say the word first. And it's catotremancy. Catotremancy. I don't know. That's something similar to that.
Catotremancy.
There you go. Yeah. So what is it?
It's easy. If you don't know this, especially on the video games podcast, I'm very disappointed in you.
So, yeah, well, let's tell our viewers.
Hit us with it.
Well, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
It's very clearly a sidekick in a Borderlands game. Much like Claptrap.
Right.
Catoptromancy. How do you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Catoptromancy.
Exactly.
Catoptromancy.
Right. Yeah.
It is also... See, it's a character in a video game series, Borderlands. It's very popular. Guys, check it out. This is a gaming podcast. If you don't know about it, you're stupid. But the character is inspired off of a special kind of necromancy, magical, mystical art stuff from an ancient tribe in the Himalayas.
Mm.
Many people don't know about this tribe. They're considered goat people by the Himalayans, also who are depicted in the Far Cry games. They know about these people as goat people, and they turn in
people.
Yeah,
they were also briefly featured in the Himalayas level of the DuckTales video game.
Yeah, they were also featured in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah,
it's one of those little guys.
Yeah,
Professor X.
It's a whole universe. It's an extended universe. So all of that is in game.
Yeah, there's actually a very, very popular theory that cataptromancy is in all things.
And all things are in cataptromancy.
Yeah, that it's actually surrounds us and binds us together.
We're actually living in the cataptromancy universe right now.
Yeah, and that
we're living in.
Yeah, and that it's passive and
weird.
Let's find balance.
I'm becoming more confused the more you speak.
This gets so weird.
If you give in to your feelings, you'll go to the dark side of cataptromancy.
I feel like
Dave, I feel like you're mixing up cataptromancy with the plot of Green Mile. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I knew it was a Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
So Josh, what
the old Jedi master Tom Hanks?
Life is like. Yeah.
I'll tell you how I know this.
Okay.
From a little story called Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
Oh, fair enough.
And
I didn't realize that word was used.
That witch, when she dumped that apple and stuff, that's the magical, mystical practice.
No. But if you the old story, not the Disney version.
Christian song.
Yeah. Catoptromancy is divination using mirrors. Or magic
or like a crystal ball. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. That's I had no clue what it meant before. Josh obviously retains knowledge much better.
I just weird facts. I don't retain anything useful.
I
can tell, I said before, I can tell you that frogs can sneeze with their eyes open. I cannot tell you most of what happened yesterday. So
right, but that you store different kinds of knowledge. That's fair.
Yeah, that's actually
useful. You just have
when we got the list. I think that's the last word on the list that I knew what it was, though. So I think from here on out, I don't know what any of the rest of them were.
Yeah, I had never heard the word before. So there you go. You want to practice that? You get a mirror, you look into it and tell the future, or get a glass.
You say Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary 3 times in a dark room in front of a mirror.
Oh, he just did it.
Well, I'm not in front of a mirror.
And then the Candyman shows up. A bunch of bees.
So, after having said all that, I was right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Dave has got the right one. Josh is wrong. Yeah.
No, I didn't say Josh was wrong.
It all ties together. Yeah, it all ties together.
Yeah, sure.
Again, it comes full circle.
Right.
It flows through us.
Yeah, it's in all things.
Oh, there it is again. All right, so let's get into the new releases this week. There are a few of them. We're going to take turns on the games because some of us know certain ones and not the others. So I'm going to start off with Strife. Not Strife. It's Strafe. For the PC, I'm already starting wrong foot. PC and PS4 coming out here May 9th. This is a game from Devolver Digital, who they've done Pixel Titans. They also have some involvement with Doom and Quake back in the day. And Strafe is a first-person shooter. You're going to get a lot of different kinds of guns. It says weapons at the player's disposal include shotguns, machine guns, and railguns. Merchants will appear whom the player can buy upgrades from. The level in the game are semi-procedurally generated. So once each level is loaded up, the map that is generated pulls different rooms from a group of rooms and assembles them all together into the map that you have. So there's enemies that you can use upgrades. There's also, I believe, a virtual reality version, which is the PC version. If you have the Oculus Rift, you can play that in VR. So sounds like a real cool game. Might be something worth checking out. That is Strafe, PC and PS4.
Yeah. Josh.
Yes.
Tell us what Birthday's the Beginning is.
Oh, all right.
I have Birthday's the Beginning as well.
Okay.
Birthday's the Beginning.
Chad, I'm going to defer to you.
Yeah, sure. Also
Okay.
for the PS4 and the PC, not really ranked well. I believe on one of the websites I looked at, it had a 5 out of 10. And it is a very like storybook looking game. The graphics look very like it would appeal to a younger audience for sure. But it looks like I'm reading this guy's review of it on digitallydownloaded.net, which never been to that website before. It's best known for the creator that created Harvest Moon. So if you're a fan of Harvest Moon, the same creator also made this game. And it's very relaxed. There are a lot of dinosaurs and plants, and the goal is to relax you and suspend you in space and breathing life into it.
So it's kind of like Mr. Miyagi or Mr. Misagi.
Did you have a stroke? What just happened?
These are the words that are on this website. At first, all you can do is raise and lower land, but soon after you'll be able to introduce water into the environment, manage landscape and temperature by raising and lowering land and by fiddling around with how much water is in the environment, and life will take its first tentative steps into existence. At first, it'll be most simple of plankton, but then primitive jellyfish will evolve, encouraging a stable existence thanks to the plentiful plankton food around. The first sea plants will emerge, and then scurrying shellfish. So it sounds like
a dialogue line out of SpongeBob SquarePants.
So it's evolution in the game.
So Birthdays, the beginning, it sounds like you create and it looks similar to like a Minecraft world. And depending on how much plants and water and everything they put in, other animals will start to be born and have birthdays, and then you will have to help evolve them and terraform the place that you've created to create more life. So there you go.
Spoilers. The big twist in this game is that birthdays are the beginning of life.
Oh my word. This guy rated it 5 out of 5 stars, so take that for
5 stars. Huh. Okay.
Like Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild quality, so must be good. All right.
Cool.
So, Chad, you being the host of this show,
sure.
How would you like to handle number 3?
Well, Dave, why don't you just go for it?
Letter C.
Yeah, go ahead.
Forza Horizon 3, the Hot Wheels expansion, coming to PC and Xbox One on May 9th. Now, for many of you that don't know what Forza Horizon 3 is, it's a racing game. So it should make sense to you while there's a Hot Wheels expansion, because every racing game needs a Hot Wheels expansion. And I would imagine that in this expansion, you can drive cars that have Hot Wheels.
Yeah, it's actually like it's a new physics thing they're doing. If you drive too much, the wheels get hot and they start to melt. So it's like there's like a cool down meter on the wheels, and you have to you got to take pit stops.
Josh,
get real hot.
We're getting out of control here, Josh. This is crazy. What it really is it adds a new feature to the game where you push, you collect all these things, and then you get a magical boost. And when you press the boost button, a giant child's hand comes down and slams your car really fast into the wall.
No, I think, that's ridiculous. What it really is once you do well enough on a race, your wheels get so hot that you can cook an egg on them, and then you win a race and you get breakfast is what happens. It's kind
of like Rocket League. When you hit your boost, you just spray egg yolk into the person's face behind you.
Right.
You can kind of like a Mario Kart, throwing a banana peel. It spins them out and they go, wah, 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 and then
this time the egg is for you.
Same. Huh. What it really is they've created.
That's coming out May 9th for the Xbox.
Moving on.
And PC.
Yeah, it's not anything like that. There's an island that it connects Australia with the orange tracks that Hot Wheels go on. You can create your own track. There is an island off the coast of Australia where the game is situated, and you can drive on these orange tracks, loop-de-loop corkscrews and everything, and there's new races and stuff like that. It looks real cool. They do have Hot Wheel cars, but no eggs, no Hot Wheels, and no children's hands.
Okay, well,
Dave,
what's
what's
the
last part?
Yeah, your game sounds much cooler.
Yeah.
Also coming out on May 9th for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. NBA Playgrounds. Now, guys, I've seen this on the Nintendo Switch. What do they call it? Little like store, e-store. I think.
Oh, eShop.
eShop. That's right. The thing I barely use because there's hardly anything on it. NBA Playgrounds looks to me to be a similar to like NBA Jam, which is interesting to me. Obviously, it's a basketball game, hence NBA.
Hence the playgrounds.
Yeah, and then that's all that I know about it. But it looks fun.
Yeah,
it's kind of cartoony. It's not like a NBA Live or a 2K whatever year game. Yeah, it's more cartoonish. It looks like it's a lot of like 1-on-1s and maybe 3-on-3s and stuff like that. I haven't delved deeply into it, but that seems to be the case with NBA Playgrounds coming out May 9th.
All right, Josh, you want to take the next two?
Yeah. Hey, guys, do you hear that? Do you hear that right now? That's a blast from the past. That's right. Because on May 9th, Chad hated that. On May 9th, we're getting Loco Roco remastered. You guys remember that? You remember that game? It's real good. Get ready to roll again. The world is under attack from the dastardly Mohawk Core. Probably is what that actually is, and only the cheerful tunes of the Loco Roco can stop them. Grow, bounce, and roll your way through this classic puzzle platformer remastered in stunning HD for the PlayStation 4. It's a real fun game. It's adorable. There's always singing. You're bouncing little blobs all over the place. There are all kinds of colors. It's very colorful and it's great. So that's coming out for the PS4 on May 9th. And last but certainly not least, we've got Minecraft Nintendo Switch Edition. Switch in parentheses. On May 11th. That's coming out. You can do all the stuff.
Parentheses is where you put the consoles it's coming to.
oh, right. Okay. My reference. That's not part of the title. No. There is exclusive Nintendo content coming with this, right? Or out later, maybe. So
it's like
Nintendo
cool. Skins and Nintendo blocks. It's basically like what their packs are now, where it makes the blocks all look different, and you got all kinds of skins and stuff. So all Nintendo
that'll be
characters.
Cool to build like Mario worlds in Minecraft. That'll be super cool.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it.
May 11th.
Very cool. All right. Well, those are all the new releases coming out this week. That's going to bring us right into the news that you can use
to do so.
If you so, I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
I'm just trying to be more efficient, guys.
Happened?
If you so choose.
Brought to us by good friend Paco.
Paco.
And the first-hand supply.
And one-arm supply. No, first-hand supply.
One-arm supply.
It wasn't me. Yes. It was the one-armed man.
The one-armed bandit. All right, so first-hand supply, you can get all your beard oils, your real good smelling colognes, hair products, good for your manly man face. Go buy
first-hand supply.
Right.
Rub your face on
just like the brawny man. Oh, yeah. We decided that was their catchphrase last week.
Yeah, we even titled the podcast that way.
Shorten it. First-hand supply. Rub your face on someone.
Yep.
Okay, put your face on it. Rub your face on someone. It's a lot of words, but we'll get there. All right, so literally immediately after the podcast ended last week, I saw an announcement, because that's the proper article, for Breath of the Wild DLC. Oh, they did announce that there was a quote-unquote kind of season pass for $20. You got 2 DLC packs. First one coming out in the summer. Second one coming out this holiday. Without really any information as to what was in them. Other than you got a few treasure chests on the Great Plateau if you did purchase it immediately. One of those chests containing a Nintendo Switch t-shirt for Link to wear, which was super awesome. But they finally released some information on what is in the first DLC pack. So here we go. We have 6 specific items that will be there. The first one is called the Trial of the Sword, which is basically a onslaught or horde mode, wave mode kind of combat for Zelda or for Link here. It's going to be basically a 45 different trials, and they mentioned 45 rooms. So I don't know if you're in a building and you're progressing through different rooms as you go, but the enemies will vary depending on the rooms that you're in. You may be better off to have, a fire weapon or an ice weapon or different things. They have shields, or there might be Hinoxes or whatever. But it's 45 different rooms. If you get all the way through all 45 rooms in one go, you will have a fully charged Master Sword, which will never lose its charge. So
like
once
in the mini game, it will never lose its charge. That's cool.
Yeah. So if you've got the Master Sword, once you use it for a while, it loses its charge and is no longer useful, and it has to recharge. I think it takes like 5 in-game minutes to get its charge back. If you can make it through this whole trial in one go, you'll never have to worry about that ever again, which is kind of neat.
Really cool.
You kind of touched on the weapons, but one of the big things is that you start off with 0 weapons.
Fair. Yep. You start off with nothing,
which I like personally. Cool. You have to because it's kind of, I don't want to spoil it for anything, but there's an area in the game where there's a similar thing that happens. And that was one of my favorite parts, one of my favorite shrines. It's an actual shrine, but
right.
I like that feature.
Yeah, it's very
cool.
That was cool. Very, very neat little addition there. Another cool thing you get is called the Heroes Path mode. And what this does is it tracks up to 200 hours of gameplay and shows you on the map where you have been. It'll show you how long you've spent time there. And they haven't shown pictures of what this looks like as far as that I've seen, but the way it sounds described is that it literally gives you a path of where you walked.
I thought I saw a picture of like a green trail all over the map.
Okay, maybe that's that. I don't think I caught that, but that's what it sounded like, is that you would get a path, a trail of where you've been for 200 hours worth. So if you spend a lot of time, I assume there'll be a lot of trails in that one area, but you'll be able to see areas of the map that you have maybe not been to as often or as much or at all. As I mentioned, after I even beat the game, there was a couple areas that I had never even gone to. So it's definitely worthwhile, interesting thing to have, to be able to see where you spent.
That's cool.
Up to 200 hours.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time.
Yeah, in the actual if you Google it, they've got pictures now that you can see, and it's like a green line all over the place. It looks like like if you injected something into veins, and you could see where it travels all the way through there. And so it's like, I don't know if it, I mean, you might have read this. I don't know if it necessarily tells you how long you were in one place, but obviously on the map, it will be a higher concentration of those lines and everything. Almost kind of like, I heard it, I said this in another podcast. It's almost like it was a development kit that they decided this might be cool if we put it in the game. Kind of like how they do like heat maps and stuff for multiplayer games and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's really cool, because you can definitely look back on that and see areas you've never been to, and it'll help you find different areas.
Which is cool. Very cool. Next, one thing that maybe not really cool, they have to pay for this, but they're giving you a hard mode where basically the enemies will regain their health if you don't take them out quick enough. I don't know if they have them eating food or if it's just part of the mode, but they'll start regaining health. And I believe it also bumps up each enemy's level a little higher. So if you got a red bokoblin, he'll be a blue one. And if you have a blue one, he'll be a silver one, and so forth and so on. So that is part of this DLC pack. Next, you get a travel medallion, but you have to find it, from what I understand. It's not just given to you. It's somewhere on the map, and you have to find this chest, which, okay, again, I'm paying money, and I have to go find it. And it gives you the ability to place one fast travel point anywhere you want on the map one time. Not just one time. So you could put it here, and if you want to put it somewhere else, then you lose where you just put it, and you can put it elsewhere as well. But it gives you the opportunity to put a fast travel point wherever you want. So if you play the game and you're probably familiar with, you can fast travel to fast travel points from anywhere in the map. The fast travel points are going to be shrines or towers that you can travel to. This will give you the opportunity to put one wherever you want. But to the point where, like, if you're climbing up a mountain and you run out of stamina and you have no food to give yourself stamina and you start falling and you know you're going to die, you can literally fast travel mid-fall and save yourself from dying.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can. There's no like limit to where and when you can fast travel from. So to be able to add another fast travel place, that's kind of cool. So that a couple more things. They're going to give you a bunch of armor. There's going to be 8 different treasure chests, which will have 8 different kinds of armor that you can use. They're giving some armor from some different games in the series, the Legend of Zelda series. I saw some like Knight's armors. I forget what other ones I saw. Maybe Majora's Mask armor. And then finally, you're also getting a Korok mask, which, if you recall, the Korok seeds, which help you upgrade your inventory, there are 900 in the game. And this Korok mask, when you wear it, will indicate when you're getting closer to them to make it easier for you to find all 900 of the Korok seeds. So that's all included in the first DLC pack. Again, $20 gets you the first and the second one. There's no way to buy just one pack individually. You have to buy the whole thing for $20 to get you this. And then the second, this holiday, which will include a new dungeon and more story DLC as well. So kind of interesting. Kind of makes the game fresh again, maybe. Adds a little extras that you could dive back into that game. So there you go. Also, shortly after the podcast ended last week, I saw an announcement, or actually a leak, from Amazon for Darksiders 3. And then come to find out that IGN had the exclusive on being able to announce that. Amazon's put it up and kind of beat them to the punch, but they had the first trailer and had someone that had gone and actually played the game that has been made so far and talk about it. So did either of you guys play either of the first 2 Darksiders?
Not I.
I played the first one all the way through, and then I only played a little bit of the second one.
Kind of in the same. I played the first one all the way through and just very little of the second. The first one was great. In the time where I hadn't played the Zelda game in a while, it was a Zelda game. Like, it had a hook shot, it had a boomerang. There were so many things that were very Zelda-like to it. Yeah. Except for it was, more button mashing combat type style. Very cool though. You play basically the first one you played as Wrath. The second one you played as Death. Here in the third one you play as Fury, and then the fourth one will be Strife. Those are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And the first 2 games, they're fun. They're good. I wouldn't put them as like AAA games. They'd probably be like your B tier games where they're good, but they just don't hit that same quality level. But they're fun. So like, this will be interesting. I don't think I would buy it at $60, but if it comes, a month or 2 down the road, it's 30 to 40. I may think about doing it. And I watched the trailer. It looks cool. It looks fun. She's got a whip, I think, that she uses. That's her main weapon. So yeah. I'm interested to see what it is.
It reminds me of like when DMC Devil May Cry came out, the newest Devil May Cry. Like, it reminded me of that type of gameplay.
Yeah.
Watching this new trailer.
Yep.
Which is cool. It's fun. But like you said, it definitely seems like B tier material.
Which isn't bad. It's just that's
I mean,
games are there too.
It's good, like we've said it before, but it's good, like, kind of lull fodder. Like, when you have a lull between huge games, like, those are the kind of games you turn to and just spend some time. Like, you can jump in and play for 30, 45 minutes and, do some combos and feel cool and jump out.
Yep. So there you go. Next on the list, God of War. They showed that really cool trailer last year at E3, which introduced looked like to be Norse mythology. Kratos with a beard. He had a son. There were some trolls and things that they were fighting. It looked real cool. This Portuguese website called Game Replay, a supposed leak came out where they put a release date up of September 14th. which of 2017, which I believe is a Thursday, which falls in line when it comes to Portuguese area of the world. They get their games on those days. Just as strange, because usually if you get a placeholder, you'll get December 31st, or you just get some arbitrary date. But to have a specific September 14th release date was strange. And then a day or two later, voice actor Christopher Judge, who is voicing Kratos in this game, which is a different voice actor from the other ones, has in his Twitter profile, if you go to his Twitter profile, it lists, like husband, dad.
I just did. He took it off.
He did take it off. I should have screenshotted it, but it also said voice of Kratos for God of War, parentheses, 2018.
Huh.
So that was literally a day or two after this Portuguese website put out the September 14th date. So the rumors were what's coming out this year. Obviously, we haven't heard anything literally since E3 last year, for sure. There may have been other rumors, but nothing official. So to get a release date for this year was pretty exciting. That immediately I was like, oh man, play this. This is definitely a AAA game that I want to play. And if it's coming out this year, that's fantastic. But it may fall into, and I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes the new hotness to be the early months of the year next year. Your February, March, like this past year was packed with games. I could see it falling into that area too, which would be great as well.
That'll be the first God of War game I play. I haven't played the other ones.
Really? Oh man, there's the scale. That's the thing I remember about the God of War games, is just the epicness of how large the enemies are and the environments are. And like you fight Poseidon, I think it's God of War 3. And you're climbing up this, what are they called? They're like, what do they call them? They're giants, and they're climbing up this mountain trying to get to Zeus, and you're crawling up its back, and it's helping you get up to Zeus. And it's talking to you, and you're just climbing up its back with your swords. And then all of a sudden Poseidon comes out of the sea, and he's got like this 3-headed seahorse, and it just tears into this giant and tears it apart. And then you have to jump onto the 3-headed seahorse and attack it. It's insane. It's just the scope is massive.
Even on PSP, like the PSP games did a lot of the same. They were good. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Chad bought the remastered. I've got them on my PS4.
Yep. It's definitely a button masher. It'll make your thumb real tired because you'll be hitting X a lot. But it's really cool. So, all right, next, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombie Chronicles. Yes, that's the whole title of the game, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombie Chronicles. Coming on May 16th to the PlayStation 4 first. No date that I've seen for Xbox. But basically what this is, it's a zombie-specific portion of Call of Duty Black Ops. It's going to take the old maps from Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, obviously, and then also World at War zombie maps, put them all into one downloadable content pack, and you can buy it. I want to say it was $20, so don't quote me on that. But you get all the Black Ops zombie maps as one title standalone.
So these are obviously all remastered maps.
I believe so, yeah, for the PS4. And it's coming out like
people love the zombie parts of this game
all by itself. Now, do you think, does this set a precedent? Does this set a precedent that we maybe in the future can have a zombie standalone, a multiplayer standalone, and a single player standalone Call of Duty game?
It seems crazy that they would do it, but they've started
about that.
They've started showing signs of it.
That's what I'm asking. I understand what you say.
It seems like an incredibly greedy move for a company that's already just raking in the dough for years and years with these games. Because I thought about that when they're like, oh, we're going to give you a game that you already bought and you already loved, and we're going to sell it separately for, what was it, $80, $70?
Yeah, for the most recent one, Infinite Warfare, you got Modern Warfare with it. Yeah, you spend $80 total to get both.
And they wouldn't sell it separately, but now they're talking about that they're going to do it. It's just standalone.
I just thought because you've always had to buy the whole game to get the zombies part, all the way up to Black Ops 3 or even Infinite Warfare. Right. So now that they're breaking it separately, where if you didn't buy Black Ops 3 or you don't have it, you can buy this Zombie Chronicles and have all the zombie stuff. Now, this is everything, but what if they do this going forward? And Josh said, you said, I don't know what I feel about that. I know what I agree. But for me, I wondered, would they make less money if they sold, say they sell the multiplayer version of Call of Duty for $40 and sell the single player version of Call of Duty for $30, sell the zombies portion for $30. Those people that could care less about the single player, they just buy the multiplayer and they spend $40 instead of $60. Or the guys that don't care about multiplayer just buy the single player. Do they actually make less money rather than forcing everyone to pay $60 to get everything, even if you only want a portion of it?
I also wonder how much extra money, if any, they're spending to release multiple games instead of just putting it all out in one pack. I know, discs aren't necessarily the thing anymore, so that's not necessarily the concern. It's just like putting, I guess, like the concern there would be putting multiple things through QC and getting, patches approved for multiple things. I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder how
the whole game and troubleshoot it and everything and then just split it.
I don't know.
I mean, how much more extra is the?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I just thought of that
obviously,
when I saw.
Obviously, if they sell them separately, they'll sell it as a package for those who want to get both for the regular $60, and then it'll be a little bit more expensive if you buy both of them separately, which nobody would do. But
yeah, no, it's just.
I don't know. I wonder how the market would react to that.
Maybe that's what this is for.
Like it, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have good reason to not like it. I just don't. I don't know how I feel about it.
It's different. It's different, and it'd be the first time that something like this would be done. I mean, this is the first time something like this is done. All these zombie modes are included in a game somewhere. Like, you can go play any one of these things. Now they're just collecting everything and putting it together in one. You got multiple games.
Yeah, so was their their remaster, I guess, though, too. I mean, I guess it was still it's a remaster, so it's different than
my thought is that it's just.
But we've seen lots
getting
of
the public
before.
Yeah, maybe it's just getting the public used to the idea of, hey, I can just buy a zombie thing. Yep, it has everything ever made for zombies. So it's not a crazy idea to sell this all as one pack.
Right.
Like, it has everything. But it could just be getting the public used to and the consumers used to a zombies game alone. And then somewhere maybe they'll give us a multiplayer game and they'll say, hey, all the Modern Warfare multiplayer maps, all on this one pack. All the Black Ops multiplayer maps, here you go, remastered into one game. And they just get us used to that thought, and that's being okay. And then eventually you get down to the point where maybe they split them off. I don't know. Maybe that's not what game publishers and developers want to do because it's not financially smart. It just first thing I thought.
I don't know.
What do you think, listeners?
Interesting.
Is it dumb? Is it a good idea? What do you think about it? Do you think they'll do that? I know you have opinions. Tell us what they are. Yeah. Last on the news list here this week, a rumor I saw today on videogames247.com is concerning the new Assassin's Creed game. Now, I saw the Assassin's Creed movie just a couple weeks ago on the Blu-ray disc, and you know what? It didn't do great in the theaters, didn't do very well in the box office, but that movie was all right.
I forgot
as a fan of the video game series, like the old stuff, like the Apple of Eden and the Desmond real world, the way the story kind of was through Ezio's time frame.
Right.
This movie was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
All right. So I plan on seeing the movie. Let me ask one question. How do they solve the problem of turning the video game premise into a movie? So, like, in the video game, if you die, quote unquote, in the memory, you just go back and replay the memory, which doesn't seem like a great movie premise. Do they solve that in the movie?
Well, they call it, that's desynchronization. So if, like, you fall off a bridge, or they say you desync in the game, and for the game they reset you back. But if you desync here, it's like it's a concern. It's a concern of the what's the company? Not the Templars, but the company they make up.
Oh man, I don't remember.
It starts with an A.
I was gonna say Aperture.
Yeah, no. I can't remember. But anyway, that company is a future tech scientific company, and they've got all this high tech equipment to be able to do that.
Abstergo?
And
yeah,
Abstergo. Yep, perfect. Abstergo. And if you desync, that is something that is a concern, to where they say a willing subject is much less likely to desync than someone forced to be an animus.
But so is there a consequence for desyncing?
Yeah, they die.
Is I guess my question.
You die, you go brain dead.
Okay.
Your brain fries if you desync.
I'm wondering if that was how they were going to solve that problem. Like, that seems like it would make the most sense. So yeah, all right,
it fries your brain.
So how do you know? How do you know if you're gonna desync or not? If you don't know it depends. Ancestors' memories already. Like, how do you know?
Yeah, just you have to watch. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
I plan on watching it. I was curious.
It's worth it. At least as a fan of Assassin's Creed, and it's worth watching. It's a good movie.
Cool. I like Michael.
I'd probably buy it. Yeah, and he makes it real good as well. So, all right. So Assassin's Creed. There have been rumors out there that this game will be set in Egypt.
I gotta say, before you say anything, before you go into this, I just want to say I've read this article, and if this is where this game's going, I want this game.
Okay, so the rumors have been that this game will be set in Egypt. We've heard that before. Obviously, Ubisoft took a year off. They didn't make any Assassin's Creed game in 2016. They have not announced anything yet for 2017. I'm assuming if this is a real deal, this will happen at E3 this year. But the rumor is that the title is called Assassin's Creed Empire, and that the game, again, will be set in Egypt. However, this is supposedly a title that will tell the Assassin's Creed origin story. So this is going to go way, way back, even before Altair, and talk about how the Assassin's Creed order came to be. Now, if you've played Assassin's Creed games, you know you're usually given a city or an area, and they've gotten bigger as the games have gotten, more recent, where they're semi-open world for sure. There are a lot of different areas you can go. Sometimes they're locked before you can get there. But apparently this game is a vast open world experience set in Egypt.
You jumped over real quick. You jumped over the fact that they said that they claim that they've spoken to Ubisoft people who have confirmed the game will be revealed in E3 and that the new title is Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so that they've confirmed that with people at two sources at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So they're okay. So open world experience. The character progression won't be intertwined with the story to the same extent as the previous titles in the series. With one of the sources going so far as to compare it to Skyrim. Players even venture beyond the bounds of Egypt, possibly even as far as Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll also have boats and naval combat, just like in Black Flag, which was a great Assassin's Creed game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say the freedom and exploration sound a lot like Far Cry from the usual fare of the franchise, which is also a Ubisoft game.
See, you read that a little bit, Ross. They're saying it sounds like a Far Cry from the usual fare of the franchise, not that it sounds like a Far Cry.
Okay.
Well, at least the way you read it, it made it sound like you were comparing it to Far Cry.
Sorry. Right. So, right. It's a Far Cry, a lot different from the original. Yeah. And then the last thing they said, the game will be huge. It'll be the biggest Assassin's Creed game ever created. The rumor is that it'll be released in the usual October timeframe. So just using the word Skyrim in there with character progression and skills, leveling up your skills to that extent, and the open world game being able to go from Egypt to Greece.
Well, see, that's the thing. The one thing that I would just reflect on, or not reflect, but go back on what you just said. They mentioned that character progression wouldn't be as big of a deal in this game.
Well, they're saying it won't be intertwined with the story to the same extent as other titles, like where you upgrade your throwing knives or.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But they're saying they compare it to Skyrim as far as the skills that you just by playing you unlock.
See, to me,
not necessarily you have to get it for the story.
To me, now when I remember, I've talked about this before in podcasts, back in the day. When I first heard about the first Assassin's Creed game coming out, me and my buddy were like really psyched about this game. I thought, man, this game looks incredible. Like it's the coolest looking game I've ever seen. I couldn't wait to play it. To me, this sounds a lot like what I pictured in my mind when I first heard about Assassin's Creed, what it would be like. Not that Assassin's Creed let me down at all. Like the first game, like it still blew me away. But they made these huge worlds, Jerusalem, Damascus, or what, I don't know if Jerusalem was one of them, but Damascus was one of them. They were huge worlds, but they were also blocked off. You couldn't go so far, and they explained that your memories, this isn't part of the memory, and so you can't go here and can't go there. But it was still a huge world within itself, and they explored that in different games, all the way up until Black Flag, where it was really the most open world I think that they had done. Now, I didn't play Syndicate, but this to me sounds like when I'm jumping pages here, but when they first announced, and this is not this company, but when they came out with Shadow of Mordor, and I thought that looks like Assassin's Creed in like Lord of the Rings, world, but that was a truly open world game where you could just go anywhere. You could do the battles however you wanted to. There was a story, but you didn't have to follow a story in order to,
get to the
level up your. Right. So this sounds a lot like that. Like they're really trying to capitalize on that. Open world is a big deal right now in a lot of games. Zelda's done it for the first time that in their series. The Witcher 3 was just incredibly huge. Metal Gear Solid did their open world thing, which was incredibly awesome. Great response. So I'm really liking what I hear here, because if it's going to be a game like that and it's still the same kind of mechanics, except with them just building on it to where they're doing it better, I'm all in. Like, I've always loved the Assassin's Creed games. Did they get a little mundane after a while? Yeah, a little bit. But it's still a franchise that doesn't need to die. I mean, I'm glad they took a break from it because they were just starting to pump them out every year, and they were very similar. And obviously they had their tech problems, development problems before, launching them before they were completely finished and stuff, and the terrifying screenshots we got from that. But yeah, from everything I read in this article, like, this is definitely a game that I'm interested in playing, owning, sinking a bunch of time into. So I'm excited to hear this. Sure. I hope that this is all true.
All right. That will do it.
This has been Dave's Thoughts.
We'll do it for this news you can use this week. That's going to bring us right into...
like exactly the game that they should have been making while they were away. It is exciting.
Totally. Which is good. I'm glad they took the year off if this was what we get. So let's get into what we've been playing lately. Josh.
Yeah.
Starts off.
I'm playing.
I mean, or how you started this podcast today. You want to tell the folks that story? No? Okay.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah, I'll tell it. I don't care. Opened up, so I sat down on the couch, and I was cast. I went and had ready, and I got my microphone all set up and everything down, and I clicked the link to join the call. And joined the call, and promptly realized that I hadn't put on a shirt. It was just, I had my bare boobies out for Chad, and Chad didn't even notice.
I didn't. I was looking at my phone. I saw Josh's little icon pop up, and he's like, "Hey!" I'm like, "Hey, man!" And I just kept looking at my phone.
As soon as I said "Hey," I got up, and I was like, I got to put on a shirt."
He covered himself with his hands.
So that happened.
Guys, I mean, hey, this is what it's all about.
No, not on YouTube. No.
Jeez. Oh man.
All right. So, Josh, what have you been playing after you put your shirt on?
All right. So, I played a little bit of crap. I forgot.
I've not played that game.
Well, we did write them down. I mean, is this something that's not on the list?
No, because it was something that I deleted it, and I thought that it was something that wasn't on this list, but it is. So I'll start off by saying that I played some disc this week. Well, and then Dave mentioned, so I felt like I'd jump into it a little more this week. They're still working on it, making some tweaks and improvements. Didn't you mention it last week? They're making some improvements and doing some stuff with it. It's pretty good. Like, they've added some stat tracking, like different kinds of throws and all that stuff. Online rankings that I can tell, but I would assume that's got to be coming. Played some Marvel Heroes Omega, and it's enjoyable. I don't think I understand everything about it. The hero selection, try a hero for free. Seemingly no limit on how long you can play that hero. Like, I tried several. I never was prompted to be like, if you want to play with this hero anymore, you have to buy it.
Once you get to level 10, and if you want to progress past
totally
level
understand.
10, that's where that would come up.
You have to buy a hero if you get past level 10.
Correct. You have to either. Once you get to level 10, you either have to spend in-game currency, which you can get those crystals that you'll find every once in a while, usually with bosses. You can spend that currency to continue playing past level 10, or you can buy like credits with real money, buy that hero to where you own it, and then you can continue past level 10. So you could feasibly a hero that's available up to level 10 for nothing, but then once you get to level 10, you have to stop. Like, you can no longer progress. I guess you could still play with them as they are, but you wouldn't gain any more experience and you wouldn't level past level 10 until you purchase it with one of the forms of currency in order to own it, and then you could continue to progress past level 10, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you stop leveling at 10 if you haven't purchased the hero.
Right. Yep.
Got it. Okay. I bought Deadpool.
Okay.
Because I had enough currency to buy one. So that's the only one that I own.
Yeah.
And then I was playing with Moon Knight, and he's pretty cool too. So Punisher was pretty cool. I played with him a little bit. It's fun. I don't know how much time I'll put into it. It reminds me of albeit a much better version, but it reminds me of a version of DC Universe Online.
Yep.
To me, it's way better because I spent a decent amount of time with DC Universe Online, but I ended up not really caring for it.
Yeah, you create your own hero in that too, and that's kind of lame. I'd rather play as Batman or whatever, you know?
Yeah, like that part of it had a certain amount of appeal to me, but like the fact that you couldn't play as any known hero was a little bit lame. So yeah, this is definitely a better version. I might kick around with it a little more here and there. I also played the Prey demo, and I'm even more sold now than I was before I played it. It's so good. I'm sure all the listeners and everybody has seen tons of gameplay footage and advertisements and all kinds of stuff for it, so I won't belabor it. Other than to say that it is very BioShock reminiscent. It's very System Shock reminiscent. And there are parts of it that are truly terrifying.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet. I know you and Dave both did, right?
I think so, right, Dave?
Yeah, I played it.
There are times where it gets super tense and
like Resident Evil tense or BioShock tense.
Not Outlast, like not to that level terrifying. It's a different kind of terrifying because with this, things can pop out at you and they'll surprise you, but it's not like, at least that I experienced in the demo, it's not like dark and shadowy. It's just surprising, but then there are parts where you'll feel super helpless. You just can't, like, you feel like you can't defend yourself, and so you have to hide or like figure out ways to defend yourself or just run away or whatever. And that's when it starts to feel like super tense and kind of terrifying. Really good. They do it really well. And the enemies, mimics, I think they call them, remind me of the alien on that movie Life that just came out, not sponsored, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's pretty good. It's super intense too. But the alien on that looks kind of like the mimics, at least in the beginning of the movie. So it was really good. I'm really excited about that game, and it definitely sold me. I'll be getting that game at some point. And then I plugged a little more time into, not a little, I plugged a lot more time into Horizon Zero Dawn this week.
Nice.
Saturday, I spent like half the day playing it, and it was really good.
Instead of getting your free comics.
I totally forgot about Free Comic Day on Saturday. I was so mad at myself. And then by the time you texted, Chad, like, I could have, like, there were comic shops that were open, but none of them would have had anything left by the time I got there. It was like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was so mad at myself.
Sorry to distract you there.
No, it's okay. So I'm 17. It says I'm 17.88% game completion right now in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
I am at the point where, like, there's a couple main quests that I could be doing. I could be going and clearing the corrupted zones, or I could like go and clear out a bandit camp with the war chief lady. So that's where I'm at right now. It's really, really good. I cleared out my first cauldron. I did my first cauldron,
cool.
which was awesome. Like,
yep.
I was playing around with it, and I was starting to get disappointed because I was like, if I can't explore these like ruins that they keep talking about, because that's like one of the coolest things about this game to me. And then when I got the first like side mission to go and do a cauldron and like clear it out and like just explore it, and it's like so freaking huge, and there's all this stuff in there. It was pretty cool. So I was happy that was there.
Yeah. Neat.
I'm starting to get hints about maybe where it's at. From the very beginning of the game, like, you have an idea that it's got to be okay. So here's where I'm at right now. You don't have to tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
From the very beginning of the game, I was like, I feel like this has to be out west at least somewhere, because there's like boulders everywhere. And like the way the landscapes and the brush and all that is, like, it seems like it would be something that would, like, mountainous country. It seems like it'd be out west. I think I'm getting hints and indications from some like data things that I'm picking up about like somebody that was in like like flight training school or something like that. I feel like it's Colorado. Like Colorado Springs area maybe, or something like that, but I haven't gotten any definite answers yet on where
that's part of the fun too, is trying to figure out where, because it's in a real place, trying to find out where that is. That is fun.
Yeah,
that's where I thought it was when I first started playing.
So that's where I'm at right now. That's where I feel like I'm at, but
cool.
We'll see. So it's really like
last week you were saying
really
that you were having a hard time getting into it. You're into it now?
I'm in. Yeah, like, so last week again, like, to be fair, I said like I had played to just into the main storyline. Like, I had just gotten out of the tutorial and stuff like that. So like I understood how the game worked. The story hadn't grabbed me yet. The story completely grabbed me when I don't think it's too big of a spoiler. Like, when she's like going to the proving, and she meets another. I mean, the very beginning of the story says that she's doing that, and she meets another guy with the thing that she's got. And I was like, oh, so like there's people have this stuff. And they start talking about other stuff, which is like plot points. So I won't give it away if people haven't played it yet. But like that was when when I started figuring out that they were doing more with that than just a device to make like maps and fast travel and all that stuff make sense. That was exciting. That was exciting to me.
Just wait until Charles Widmore starts sending people her way.
Well, as long as I don't have to press a button, as long as there's not like 2 hours of the game where I just have to press a button over and over again.
Well,
no. If you get the platinum,
you spend the last 50% of the game underground in one room.
Yeah. In order to get the platinum, you have to only sleep in 20-minute increments and press the button every 20 minutes.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, it's really good. I'm definitely in now. Like I'm at the point with this game where I've been with a few where like I think about it when I'm not playing it. And I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get back to it and like find out more of the story. And the story is 100% what's got me hooked. The gameplay is good, but the story is 100% the reason that I'm excited about this game.
Very cool.
So it's cool. That's it for me.
All right. Cool. Dave, what have you been up to?
I played some Wildlands with you, Chad, and I believe your nephew.
Yep, that's correct.
Hunter, that we've talked about on the podcast before,
right.
sending some questions the other day on VR, PlayStation VR to be more specific. Anyways, we played some Wildlands with him. He is very far in the game. I mean, he's finished the game, but he's done a lot, and so my play style didn't really mesh with his. I don't think he was like trying to get stuff done, and I was kind of just like, "Yeah, are you coming, Bagel Dogs?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on a bike over on this mountain way over here, like 8 kilometers away. I'm coming." There was this one mission where we kept having to get this guy, and we kept killing him. We'd killed him like 5 or 6, and then at one point he goes, "Maybe we'll just do this mission without Bagel Dogs." And then right after that, Chad killed the guy, and I was like, "Look, see, it's not just me. Stop with your Bagel Dogs hate." Anyways, so I played that game with those guys, and it was fun. I also played some more Mr. Shifty on the Switch and finished it. I really enjoyed that game. It's a fun game for the Switch. I really like the concept. Like I said before, same reasons I liked Hotline Miami. So I played that. I did play some more Super Bomberman R with one of the guys in the bus. So we, did the typical. We put the Switch up there on the kickstand, pulled out the Joy-Cons, and played it like that. He had never played Bomberman before, so it still wasn't a full test because he was kind of like not knowing what was going on. But it's fun. I mean, I can definitely see it. You can connect up to 8 Joy-Cons to play 8 people. So that could get crazy. I would enjoy seeing that. I also, because he bought Mario Kart for the Switch, Mario Kart 8. So he asked me if I wanted to play the other day, and so I'm like, heck yeah, I do. He had already played with some guys while I was driving the bus. I'm like, man, I really want to play. So then he's like, oh, we can play. We had some time off or whatever. So get up there, start up the Mushroom, Grand Prix, put it on 100cc because I'm like, I'm not going to do the 50cc, but I'm not going to jump into the 150 because I've never played any of these courses. And what happens? Bagel Dogs, Dave Man, takes the gold cup. Still got it. It's like riding a bike.
Still got it.
I mean, I'm sitting here telling him, he's like, how are you doing that? How are you doing the drifting thing? I'm like, dude, the drifting thing, I mean, you just hop, skip, slide. I mean, you get boost. Come on, man. I've never played this game. I already know how to do it better than you.
Wow.
Anyways.
It's like you're in a gaming podcast and know a thing or two.
Now, I will say there was I think there's four races in each cup or whatever, and there's one where I took I think 6th place. I was not happy, but the rest of them I took 1st place, so I still came out ahead in the end. So I'll eventually get that because that'll be real fun to play with like my kids and like my girlfriend and stuff in the future when I see them again. So that was good, and then I played some more Zelda. I went ahead and jumped back in for real this time instead of just thinking I did like last week. And I went back to right where I left off, which was Link being dressed as a woman. And so I was in the Gerudo Desert looking around, and they're like, I snuck into this place where you had to be like you can't be a Vi, you have to be a Vo. Or no, you can't be a Vo, you have to be a Vi. Right. Which is like a female, I guess, because there were females of different races in there. It wasn't just their race. But anyways, and I even tried it after I talked to the leader, and they're like, "Oh, you really look like this, this master swordsman from 100 years ago has the same name. Like, go talk to this person. He'll let you, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, okay, so they know who I am now. So I put my regular clothes on, and they're like, "Get this guy out."
Hey, you're not allowed in here.
Again. I'm like, crap. So then I changed back into my women clothes right in front of the guard, and then they let me back in. And then so I went on this journey to where I had to get this special helm so I could use it to go tackle my third divine beast, which I have not done yet. I stopped a little bit after that. So I'm still excited about playing Zelda. It's really cool. I'm loving it. So many things to do. I'm probably refresh my memory, Chad. When's the first DLC come out? Summer?
I think it comes out in June.
So I'm probably going to get the DLC before I finish the game, which I think is cool because I've kind of like belabored it a little bit. So that's cool. And then I will touch on the Prey demo a little bit more because, Josh said that I had played it, which I did. I would like to touch on the fact that Chad asked if it was scary, kind of like BioShock. And for me, it was. There's a lot of the same things that where you're there, that there's things out there, but you don't know where they're at. And you're kind of walking around. And there's times where you come into a room and very, very slowly you see like a chair spinning, like someone was just in it and they left. And you're like, huh, that's weird. So then you walk by it and then it turns into a mimic alien and starts attacking you. And you realize
you also don't know what you can interact with.
Right. It's like it wasn't something that somebody just moved. It's actually something that turned into a chair to hide from me. And then when it thought it could attack me from behind, it did. And so that stuff jumps out. There's a lot of times where it's like you don't have the weapons. I mean, you go through you start off with nothing. And like you pick up a wrench, you're like, okay, I've got this wrench. Let's take on aliens. So then you go and you find this gun that like shoots out the glue and it like can freeze them. Then later you find an actual pistol, and there's areas that are locked off from the demo that you can't get to, which is like, man, I really wanted to do this. And then there's like you get a lot of these little these upgrades where you like shoot some type of retraction device or something into your eye, and it gives you your augmentation points or whatever, like your level up points for your skills. And so I'm like, oh man, I got this now. Now I'm gonna go back and hack this thing, or I want to go back and like reprogram this terminal or repair this assault drone or whatever. And then it's like, well, this area is locked off from the demo. It's like, man, I really want to play this game. Like they did a good job of making you really want to play it.
Sure.
And then there was even some times where it's like, not as bad as like Alien Isolation, where you're like, I haven't even finished that game. I never finished it because I realized it would take me like 3 years because it's just I'm half of it's just me sitting there too scared to move because this thing's gonna see me. But they have like these big lumbering alien mimics or whatever too that walk around kind of like they look like imagine like a really evil full-grown Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, except like in a black liquid, like symbiotic, like a what's his name from Venom. Spider-Man, like a Venom, yeah, just walking around. And those things look like, okay, I probably shouldn't mess with him. And I'm hiding behind stuff, and they have like a notification meter of how if they see you or not. So there's that kind of play, stealth going around and everything. And then it was like Josh said a couple episodes ago, where you find these machines where you can like you're collecting things as you go off of dead mimics or off of wherever you find laying around foods and stuff, and you can throw them all in this machine and push recycle, and it'll extract all of the important things out of it and turn them into like little cubes or orbs and drop them into this bin, and you can pick them all up, and then you can use them later at a different machine to fabricate actual weapons, fabricate ammo for your weapons, fabricate other things. So it's really cool, like lots of potential in what you can do with this game. So I'm really looking forward. I almost bought the game tonight, but I didn't think it would download in time. And then I also used that as an excuse to where I shouldn't buy the game right now because I have other things I need to spend money on. So yeah, I'm excited about playing it though. I'm definitely going to get it, Chad, so you'll be able to play it later.
How's the shooting? Like, how's the gunplay? Is it a good shooter?
I haven't shot enough, I don't think. to really answer that.
The only gun that you get, quote unquote, gun that you get in the demo is that glue orb gun thing.
No, there's an actual pistol.
Oh, I didn't find the pistol.
Yeah, there's an actual pistol with bullets. And you can make bullets in that fabricator too, but I couldn't find the right stuff.
Oh, yeah, then I didn't get to that point.
Well, didn't you get to the office at the end?
I beat it, yeah.
Like the guns.
I mean, what you can beat.
The guns, I think that's where I found the gun, is in that office.
Can't
remember where I found it.
To play it again.
Definitely found a gun though with bullets because I was using it. And wasting ammo because I was shooting it. I mean, I will say I was missing, but it was more to the fact that I was like sporadically like, oh crap, because of how the things were surprising me, and I was trying to kill them. Had nothing to do with like, oh, it was too hard to aim. I did have to turn the sensitivity up because it was a little sluggish at first.
Sure,
but overall, it was great. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
It's pretty good.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. For me, as Dave mentioned, I played some Wildlands. I did end up playing a little bit more on my own. I, like Hunter was saying, I'd like to get the trophies in it and play it more and kind of do it. It seems like some of them are fairly simple to get, but there's just so much to do in that game that it's just so massive. All the different sections with the different, sub bosses they have to take down in order to get to the main boss. It just seems like it would take forever. So I spent a lot of time playing it afterwards and got like nowhere, which was a little discouraging because it's like, I'd like to make some progression in here trophy wise, and it just wasn't happening. So I played that a little bit. I did play The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 4. Came out on the 28th of April. And so I went through and played that. I had a good time with it. It's had no problems with it crashing or anything like that. The jankiness was all just fine. Good for Telltale. And then I still am playing where anytime Clem is involved, I'm just on her side, just automatically every time. And sometimes she does some things that maybe you wouldn't be like, yeah, that's cool with. But I'm just like, no, I know Clem, and I'm cool with whatever she wants to do. So I've just decided that's how I'm going to play it and just be on her side all the way to the end. So we'll see how that plays out. And then just for something different, I went and I finished the story mode on Titanfall 2. I had done that previously on the Xbox One version, but then I got it for the cheap during the holidays for the PlayStation 4, and to play through that. That game is so much fun. The fluidity and the movement and the fast pace of everything, the shooting in that game is great. The Titans are fun. I love BT. He is the best. If I could have a robot companion, I'd want BT from Titanfall 2 because he's cool, and he kind of sounds like Optimus Prime, just a little bit. So that helps. So yeah, that's all I played. The only other thing I did play is that Star Wars Puzzle Droids game. Played that some more. Just I was laying in bed, and I'm like, I ain't tired yet, so I pulled out the Puzzle Droid game and played that.
You're hooked. Next thing we know, it's Chad's gonna be a mobile gamer.
But it was fun. That's a cool game. It's the Star Wars, man. It's the Star Wars that brings me in. So if it weren't that aesthetic, I probably wouldn't continue to play it. So that's all I played. Didn't get a chance to really do a whole lot, as Josh mentioned, or I mentioned to Josh to remind him. Saturday was Free Comic Book Day. And for those of you that listen, I have a comic book store here in Brookings that my brother and I own and operate, and we had a real good day. It was real busy. A lot of people came in. We gave almost all the free comics we had. We got rid of, and we had some really good deals. Like we had new comics, Josh. If you bought 5 or more, you could get them for $1.
All of them?
All the newer ones that have come out recently. As long as you bought 5 or more, you got them for $1 each.
Oh my gosh!
So a lot of people got some real good deals. And we had 50% off all graphic novels. I'm telling you, you should come to Uncanny Comics in Brookings a year from this weekend. Okay, so that's all for the games we've been playing and the things we've been doing. That's going to bring us into our final segment of the evening, Game Scoops. 20 questions.
Game Scoop!
That was weird. All right, Josh has the game this week. He has chosen the game, and Dave and I are going to guess that game. Go ahead,
Josh, Dave. Does the character you play in ever have blood on his or her hands? Just kidding. Don't answer that. I just wanted to be stupid at the beginning of the show. My real question is,
I feel like that's a dig at somebody. Chad,
my real question is, do he have blood on his hands? Because I'm a sexist. Also kidding.
Whoa.
My real question is, does this game come out prior to January 1st, 2000?
Prior to January 1st, 2000. No.
All right. Did this game come out prior to January 1st, 2010?
Yes.
Did this game come out on what would be considered last-gen consoles, the 360, PS3, Nintendo Wii U?
Yes.
Why would he have answered like that, Chad?
I don't know. I think he was just a filler word.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's different to me.
Yeah. Is this a first-party game, Josh?
Yes, it is.
Is this
No, I'm sorry. No, it's not.
Oh, whoa. I have to change. I have to scratch out the yes and now write a no.
It's not. I don't know why I said.
I don't know why I said
yes.
I don't know why I always get confused with first party. First party means it's a game put out and published by the company that makes a console or the hardware, correct?
Right, like a Sony game or a Microsoft game. Forza, Uncharted.
Yeah. So, but a Sony published game made by Uncharted or made by Naughty Dog, is that still not first party, even though it's... I mean, Naughty Dog's not necessarily a Sony studio, even though it's in a Sony exclusive game.
Is it a first party studio? They're owned by Sony, right?
I thought they were. I'm pretty sure they are.
What was their other game?
Is Sony.
Jack and I guess that was a Sony. Those were also Sony exclusives, weren't they? Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, pretty sure it is. I mean, this neither here. Yeah, yeah. The Naughty Dog is owned by Sony.
So any studios, for my clarification, any studios that are owned and make exclusive games are considered first party.
Right.
Yeah, like a second party would be a studio that's not owned by the console maker, but makes games exclusively for that console.
Like Remedy had up to this point.
Or is being funded by the console maker.
Yeah, but third party, like everything else, like Konami and Capcom, those are all third party games.
Right.
Remedy made all the Alan Wake games, Quantum Break for Microsoft, and they were a second party. Microsoft helped publish them up to this point, but Microsoft did not own them. If that makes sense.
So they weren't first party.
Right.
Correct. They'd be second party.
So this is not a first party game.
No. And don't read into the fact that I made the mistake. I don't know why I said yes. It's not.
Okay. Well, that's okay. There you go. Question 5.
So is this a console exclusive?
No.
I think I heard.
Right. Yeah, he said no. Is this, let's see here. Are you a human in this game?
No.
All right.
Do you shoot or do you kill enemies in this game?
No, I don't think so.
No killing enemies in this game. All right. Do you pilot a vehicle?
I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna make sure that you know that yes is like a soft yes.
So maybe you can turn into a vehicle, or you can maybe there's
maybe you ride an animal, and that's kind of like piloting a vehicle in this game, but it's an animal or something like that.
Or maybe the platform that you're fighting on is a giant vehicle, but you're not actually driving it; you're just on it. Like,
it could be a possible.
Like, for example, the gunships in Mario. Obviously, this isn't one of those games, but you wouldn't be piloting a vehicle there, but you're on a vehicle.
Fair.
I've confused myself more.
Yeah, that's why I just said fair. So we just move on.
Josh.
Yes.
Let's see. If you don't kill people, and you're not, it's not a hard confirmed like vehicle piloting game. So I'm trying to think if your objective in this game, Chad, would either be to get to a certain point or to solve puzzles.
I mean, it could be like Batman doesn't kill people in his game. He just beats crap on, but no one dies. I mean, technically,
I guess.
You know, you're not shooting. You're not shooting people with a gun with bullets, because that
you're not killing people at all. So you're not hitting people with a sword, because that would be, but you are an animal. I mean, we'd say you're an animal, but you're not a human.
Correct.
So, is this a licensed property?
No.
Okay. Man. Do you see your Dave? Should we assume that you see your character? Or should we ask if it's a third person game? Would that narrow it down at all at this point? We don't really even know.
Well, I mean, I guess without seeing your character, you could still know what they are. I mean, I guess
that's probably the case.
I'm trying to think in like last gen, if you're not. See, we got to remember that vehicle thing too. Like, it's soft, yes.
Right.
So it's not going to be like a Myst type game, or like that kind of
an extent of some way.
So then, if I think about other first person games back in that day, most of them are shooters where things are dying,
right? So that's
being killed. Or like Skyrim, you're still killing people.
Should we go for genre next, maybe?
Yeah. So it like last gen, I'm trying to think like non-human not killing enemies.
Is this a puzzle game, Josh?
No.
Is this a stealth game?
No.
Is this part of a series?
That's a good one.
Or franchise, sorry.
Is franchise the one you're asking?
Yeah, part of a franchise.
Yes.
That could have been Josh 12. Being nice to us. Could have been.
Differentiating series and franchise, because the answer may have been
implying that the answer would have been no if it was series. Now, he didn't say that, so that could be going down a dark trail. But so it is part of a franchise.
It is, yes.
Possibly a one and done. Or just a standalone in
right. Not a sequel. Obviously. Or right.
So what kind of games back then? Josh, where we at? We're on 13?
Yeah, this will be 13.
I mean, think back then. This isn't that far. Could be not that long ago.
Right.
Just prior to 2010.
Josh, is there a game? I don't know if I can ask it this way. Is there? Okay, I can't ask it this way. Is there a game either on or coming to current gen in this franchise?
That
we know of.
In the franchise?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think so. Let me double check though.
I don't have any. I'm just throwing stuff out right now, trying to get some to stick.
Not anything that you're thinking of per se.
Okay, so the answer is yes. There is a game in the franchise playable on current gen.
Playable. Ooh, another little
freebie.
Tip.
Okay, so think of something you don't. I mean, at least in this one, you don't kill people. You're not a human. So what? Okay, what other protagonists do we have that
there's
you're not?
Rayman. There's like Rayman games.
Sure, Rayman.
Because you don't necessarily you kill things. You're not human.
I guess, yeah.
Can you ride ships or pilot a vehicle? I mean, I don't know.
You ride a mosquito. You ride a mosquito as a vehicle.
Okay.
Is this a platformer?
No.
Not Rayman.
So it wouldn't be that then, right? Because those are definitely got to be considered.
Those are definitely platformers.
We don't necessarily know that it's a cartoonish game either. It's just that you're not a human.
Just as you're not a human.
But what are you doing?
We know a lot of things it isn't. I don't know a lot of things that it is.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a game last gen that was not human protagonist.
Yeah. Are you does this game have multiplayer?
Yes.
That's a good one. So we're gonna assume it's not a racing game, right? Because that wouldn't be a soft yes. That'd be a definite yes.
Yeah. No, that'd be a definite yes.
So what kind of multiplayer games are you not
a racing game?
Oh, no. Little Big Planet? That's a platformer, right? That's definitely a platformer.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Little Big Planet racer, but you definitely rode a vehicle, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So other things that are available now that he had to look up in the franchise. So not like a huge, because this also isn't a continuation.
Not necessarily. Man, multiplayer. Not a human.
It's not an exclusive.
The character you play as, would it be considered a like a real life? Okay, Dave. So do I want to ask, like, is this a fictional character, like a made up one, or
That's
like
very
versus? Is it too?
Well, because you could have a real life fictional character and a cartoon fictional character, and you still wouldn't differentiate between. Like, I mean, what's the alternative? Is this a historical, true life?
Well, like a bird or a fox.
Okay. Well, see, what I was thinking was, like, obviously, like a fox is a real life character, but Fox McCloud is a fictional character. So that's
sure, but he is he is a fox, which is a real thing versus, for instance, Rayman that is a made up.
So you're asking, is your character something that exists in the real world?
Real, right? There you go. That's my question.
Whether or not it's a talking animal is not the question.
Yeah, no. Just is the character you play as an actual physical real thing in the real world, regardless of if it talks.
It's still so vague though, Chad. Well, because, like, for example, something that is like on the planet Vortex, but that also exists on Earth, like we're not thinking that might make us think we're more. I don't know. You could ask it. Sure. I mean, where are we? Already on 14 or something?
Yeah. No. This will be 16.
Oh my gosh.
So we need to get there quick. I'm just trying to think. Like, I'm trying to narrow down characters that you play as that aren't humans. We're not killing anyone, but it's not a platformer. It has multiplayer. So what multiplayer game out there where you're not playing as human? What multiplayer game is out there you don't play as a human?
Bomberman.
How about that? I mean, how many of those are there?
A lot, but they're not necessarily series. They're just a big franchise.
What, what's an example of something
of what
multiplayer that you're not a human?
I just said Bomberman.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, sorry. But I'm trying.
I said Bomberman.
Well, I did, but then I thought you heard me because you acted like you heard an answer, but then acted like you were dismissing it, and then asked me again.
That's dumb. Give me a real answer.
Like I'm thinking, like Bomberman, for example. Like to the best of my knowledge, it's not a series; it's just a franchise. And although Josh did have to look to see if there was a game playable on current gen, so I wouldn't think it was that because I just talked about Bomberman.
Right.
But that's a game, for example, you can play Super. There's also, let's see, there's there's a lot of them. Just not thinking of them right now.
Sure. All right. So
there's the game I picked last time. Which was the Squid, the Splatoon. Obviously, he's not going to pick that. That's another one.
Okay.
What would you do in a multiplayer game if you're not killing enemies? Like battle them out of
racing,
which is definitely piloting a vehicle or driving a vehicle. There's there's like Tetris game, but we've already established that you're some type of character, right? Or did we not?
Well, we've only established that you're not human.
Yeah, but Tetris wouldn't work. I mean, Puyo Puyo maybe, but he's not talking about current.
We asked for a puzzle game. It said it's not a puzzle game.
You're right.
Not a puzzle game.
Right,
okay,
so
let's see here.
That stuff. There's Rocket League's definitely. Well, Rocket League, you're not piloting a vehicle. You are the vehicle.
But what franchise is that? That's the only game.
You're right, and it's current gen only. Is there any other thing like that? Maybe I shouldn't go down that route. Because he did say soft yes.
Right.
So because my initial thought was, well, maybe you can turn into a vehicle. What if you are a vehicle? Like you're just a vehicle. You're not a human. You're not like Blaster Master, for example, which is you're a human, but and never mind. That's a bad example. Forget that. But there's something to do with the vehicles in this game that's not like the main vehicle isn't the main focus. Like you're not.
Would it be dumb to ask if the character you play is a vehicle?
I don't think it would be dumb to ask.
Josh, is the character you play a vehicle?
If it's no, but I don't think it's dumb to ask.
Well, I just asked it, so.
Say it again.
Is the character that you are playing a vehicle?
No.
That was a dumb question to ask.
What's our next question?
17.
Man. Can you transform into a vehicle? Josh.
Did you not hear?
So it cut out, sorry.
Can your playable character change into a vehicle?
No.
All right, let's get off the vehicle thought. Oh man, I can't.
Are we missing like something obvious like sports game? I mean, I don't know about how there'd be a soft yes vehicle.
Well, and you're not a human. Sports games.
Well, yeah, but there's sports games without humans. It doesn't have to be like a real life sports game.
I'm going to ask you again for examples, but
Rocket League, for example, is a sports game without humans in it. There's other sports games that I know are out there. I just can't think of them. For example, games that would also be disqualified that I'm just not going to mention because they're already disqualified from other questions.
Okay. Franchise. There is one playable on current gen. Multiplayer, not a human.
It can't be. That's first party.
No, it's not a franchise.
Well, there's two of them out technically, but it's the same game. I don't know what I'm saying.
Is this a third person perspective game, Josh?
No.
Okay.
So what's the?
We have a question and two guesses.
If it's not third person, it's most likely first person.
That'd be probably the highest probability of the correct answer.
All right.
Could be top down.
Let me caveat my answer that it's not third person by saying
it's not over the shoulder.
That's also a soft no.
So you might still see your characters from some perspective of some kind or another. What if, Dave, you don't kill things because the enemies you're killing aren't alive? What if you're fighting robots? You can't kill robots because they aren't technically alive.
You have a game, or just is this a theory that's hoping to lead to a game?
In the game.
No, I mean, do you have the game in mind?
The game that popped into my mind is Nier Automata.
Oh, I have no idea anything about that.
That's a new one that just came out. I talked about playing the demo.
Is that a franchise?
There is a Nier on last gen. It could be Nier. What if it's Nier? I didn't play it. And I'm pretty sure they're robots. I don't know if you fight anything that's alive, though. Like in Nier Automata, it's all robots.
So what are you? What's your character?
You're a robot.
You are a robot.
Character.
Destroying other robots. Is it in what? It's in first person or third person?
Well, no, it goes third person. It goes top down. It does a side view too, but I don't know what the original Nier was, which it'd be the original one because he said it's on last gen. I'm probably way off. We have one question and
I do like your idea
of
like things that are already not alive.
Right, which it may be too late to actually suss it out, but that's where you're killing robots or fighting robots.
Wait, does Nier have multiplayer?
Well, this one, I don't know. I only played the demo. And I don't know if the original did or not, so I don't know enough about it.
We never asked if you're shooting guns.
No, you
could be shooting guns.
Did, but you said kill.
Right.
Again, we have one question and a guess. So
what about like a game like Alien Nation? That's a first party game, but or isn't it? Or maybe it's not. Housemarque. The first party? Are they owned by Sony?
No, I think House.
We have one question left. This is a Housemarque game.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Hey, we're going long, man.
Housemarque. Is this game Nier?
No.
Okay. Dave, you get a guess.
He was asking if it's Nier 2 and you cut out.
Oh,
I heard him.
I'm sorry.
I heard him. You didn't.
My bad.
He wasn't asking if it was Nier. So, Chad, what were you asking?
I was asking if it was Nier.
Okay, you messed up.
I don't have a better answer.
You messed up.
I don't have a better answer.
Is this game? I have a feeling it might be playable on portable, but I don't. But it's too late. Is this game? Let's see. I don't know. I gave up.
Mega Man.
All right. This game was published in 2006. It has been released on Game Boy Advance, Wii, PlayStation 2, Microsoft Windows, Nintendo DS, and Xbox 360. It is a party game, genre party game.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Rayman Raving Rabbids.
I've played that.
I haven't.
I played that on the 360. Yeah.
Crap.
The game features two different modes of play: story mode or adventure mode, and score mode. In story mode, the game follows 15 days of Rayman's imprisonment by the Rabbids. Each day, Rayman must complete at least 3 trials, followed by one special boss trial, using plungers.
Yep.
And different things. And every time he completes a trial, he gets a plunger. He uses those plungers to build a ladder and escape his prison. The reason it's not, for the most part, it's not a third-person game. The only time it's third person that I remember is when you are riding a warthog, which is sort of vehicle-like.
Fair.
Because it's a race. So you're riding a warthog, and in that mini game, it is third person because you see your thing on the screen. Other than that, I guess you are Rayman, but it's not third person. You're just throwing rabbits around, and you're shooting rabbits with plungers and different things. You're squirting carrot juice in their mouths and all kinds of stuff. So
yep, I did play that. I do remember that game now.
It's a party game with lots of mini games in it. It was a lot of fun. It was crazy. It was real dumb. And Rabbids.
Yeah.
Fiasco. Wow. And then those other annoying games. Like, it was funny in this game, and then it got annoying real quick in the other ones.
There's a rumor out there that they're making a Mario Rabbids RPG game. For the
really?
Switch. Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't mention that in the news. Turns out like.
All right, Raving Rabbids. The minions existed, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
I would say a little more or less annoying. Same level of annoying.
I wanted so badly to because Rayman came up early on.
Yep. When we were thinking platformers,
and then I wanted so badly to be like, no,
you're so close, but so far. Yeah. All right, we almost did it, but we didn't do it. So better luck next time, gents.
We almost did it, but we didn't do it.
Boom.
I almost did it, but then I did.
You know what that reminds me of, Josh? And this is an inside joke between Josh and I, but the way that Chad said that, it reminds me of this. They brought Charlie back, but he hasn't said anything since he came back.
That's a reference to another podcast that Josh and I listened to called Feels Like the First Time with Steve Zaragoza, who does a lot of this talking on the microphone, and sometimes can get annoying.
Yeah, it's right in your ear. You can almost feel it. All right, well, that's going to do it for this. And speaking of this podcast and other podcasts, just to remind you, we are part of the Sioux Empire podcast family, where there are other podcasts created by people that live in South Dakota. And if you're interested in hearing any of those podcasts, you can head over to SiouxEmpire.com, theSiouxEmpire.com, and check out any of those other podcasts that are there, including ours here. If you do like our podcast, please tell friends that we're awesome and you like video games, that we talk about them. We don't get the 20 questions right all the time, but man, it is entertaining. Am I right?
If we do say so ourselves.
They have both checked out. They're doing other things, waiting for me to be done and Dave to be
looking at the YouTube channel.
No one is listening. It is all done.
I was clearing my counter from counting the questions from 20
time. It was a wonderful time
from the group in the thing. Chad, I am making noises to stall so I can pull this up.
Bye.
My counter from counting the questions from 20 time. It was wonderful.
An audio paradox. It's like podcastception. Podception.
I am making noises to stall.
Yeah.
It's a pizza. A pizza.
Bye.